Hey, what's up everybody? It's Austin, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of work on the RamCharger. I did have some other content that I was going to put out for you guys, but we'll add it in. It just didn't happen. Well, it happened, but we'll just put it in this video. Alright, so the primary thing that we are going to be working on today is getting the power windows to work. Now, I have done some stuff off camera. All of these little, well, connectors. Let's see, can I find an old one in here? I threw them all inside. Here's one, give me a second. They just slid over the post on the master switch, and, well, they didn't really work that well. So, that side was perfectly fine, this side was not. So we fixed all this up. I found a wiring diagram for the master switch for the D150s and RamChargers on one of the YouTube, or not YouTube, my bad, on one of the Facebook pages. So I'll put that up here in a small little picture on the screen, and if you guys need it, go ahead and take a look at it, because it's helpful, especially if, like what happened to mine, these clips were exposed to the sun and they just deteriorated over time. So now, I will be honest, you can see that window's already open. So we got something to work. It was the power window motor. So I already switched that one out, but I'm going to show you the process of what you have to do, kind of sort of on how to get the other side done. It works on both sides. There's three bolts here. There's one back in there, you can see. There's another one up here and another one over here, and you can't get to them from right here. But that's how that is. So there's the 3 bolts back there that you have to take out, like the whole inside, the whole guts of the door, just to get to them. That's kind of crazy. Let's go over to the other door and I'll show you what you have to do. So these aren't the prettiest cuts, and I'll admit it, you know, I'm not the straightest cutting person, but you have to extend this out to where you can get into that. So I cleaned it up, make it look a little bit nicer. And then you have to cut one here. Still got to put the bolt in for that one. And I cut this one out here. Had to elongate a little bit because I, well, didn't give it enough room the first time. But we unbolt those 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. The motor just falls out the back. O'Reilly's, the ones that I got from O'Reilly's, unfortunately, well, 1, they don't really clip in, and 2, they gave me 2 of these. So it's got the notch out on this one side. I needed a notch on the lower side, so I had to make my own. But once it's all plugged up, I can slide it in there, and I might be able to cut a little notch for the connector itself. But once it's all in, it works, so I'm not complaining. It's just you gotta adapt, you know what I mean? You just gotta adapt. So I'm gonna do that to this side over here. We're gonna cut out our little holes and stuff like that to get the new window motor in, nice and fresh. It's a good one. We'll test them out in this video too, but that thing, super quick, super quick. This switch here, unfortunately, I believe it is the passenger, one of the passenger switches is having some issues. So we'll test it out. If it works, it works. If not, we'll have to find another one. But some other things that we did on camera that we're going to add into this video, but I recorded it a couple of days ago. I think it was maybe a week. Stuff happens, you know. So, as you can see here, we have our new tires. And back in there, if you've been watching for a while, that has been bent up and it got in the way. Anytime you turn the tires or the wheels, once you were steering, the inner fender well, which is steel, would grab into the tires and could potentially mess them up. I wanted to fix that as soon as possible. You can see some hammer marks up in there. I had to do a little bit of body work, bend this bottom back out just a little bit, but it's straight enough, or as my dad used to say, it's good enough for government work. But I'll show you a couple video clips of me beating on this thing just a little bit, you know, just while we're talking about it right now. Nothing too special, just some good old fancy hammer body work that's not professional at all. So don't follow what I did, because it's not the right way of doing it. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert a clip here in just a second about some of the stuff that I did on the old Ford up there. Again, that one was pulled out of the backyard by my future brother-in-law. I'll just call him my brother-in-law now, but pulled out the truck from the backyard, so getting another vehicle out of the car farm? Is that what we're gonna call it? Alrighty, so we're here underneath the Ford. I don't know if you can see up there. That's the freeze plug. He's tried putting not screws, but using a slide hammer with the screw attachment to pull it out. It ain't doing nothing. So now it's my turn to get up in there and see if I can figure something out. If not, we'll have to pull out the big guns and get Grandpa. All right, that's a success. Let's go. Look at that. Now to get it out of there without losing it in the block. So there we go. That's good. He'll be super happy. Super awesome to see that. He did, I think, a majority of the work. It loosened up and I just finished it off. It looks like the two holes were from the screwed in slide hammer, and then the one on the bottom was just rusted through. I don't understand, but there was, for some reason, there was a ton of dirt. I don't know if we can see it from here. No, it's too dark under there. There was a ton of dirt that came out. There we go. We can see a little bit better there. That little pile there was not there before. So when I pulled that freeze plug, there was a ton of dirt in there. In fact, it's kind of like a rusty brown, red Oklahoma kind of dirt. So we may have to run the truck while there's a fresh water source going into it. We'll leave the freeze plug out and then just run water through it. And hopefully, again, watching temps and stuff like that, hopefully we'll be able to clear some of that debris that's in the system out, the coolant system out. So we'll just have to see. All right, now before you start working on this stuff, you most likely want to have the battery disconnected. I believe this stuff doesn't come on until you put it into the accessory or run position before you click it over to start, but just disconnect your battery. Be a little bit safer from all this stuff touching, you know what I mean? From what all the videos on the YouTube say, if you can find the bottom one, you can kind of line it up and guesstimate from there. Me personally, I like to stick my hand in, try to find where the top one would be, possibly, and then maybe the side one. The top one's gonna be right about this area, so we'll throw a I don't think we can see it up in there. Yeah, we can. It's about right here. So we'll throw a little little dot with a pick. Then we'll line up our motor again, and so the other one should be right in about here. So with that, we can kind of start guesstimating. Now, if you can get it almost perfect every time, which I think I messed up on this one. I think it's over slightly. I can see it a little bit better from the top. You can go ahead and throw a drill bit on, and you don't want to Swiss cheese it. That's close. All right, so like I said, I got these four. They're gonna be my corner. The bolt is right behind the center of that. Got almost dead on with that one right there. It's right on the top portion of that bolt, so bolt's like right here, so that's perfect. This one I can see, I just cut out a little bit, make it look like a, well, I don't know what I make it look like, but I make it work, you know, to where I can get that bolt that's back there out. So I'm gonna go ahead, start cutting with the Dremel, and let's see what we find behind the sheet metal. All right, so I got that first one done. I think you guys get the premise. Just cutting a little service or access hole, whatever you want to call it, to get to the 3-window motor bolts. And once we do that, then we'll be able to get this motor out and put a new one in, and then we'll be good to go. But I'm gonna get back to cutting. Here we go. All right, so it's not the prettiest thing I've done, but you can, on every single one of them, get to the bolt. So now it's just loosening these up, and then we'll be able to put that new motor in if we wanted to, even though I've already done it. And we'll do it. We'll test it with a battery. We'll test the old motor. We'll test the new one, make sure it works before we put it in. But I can already tell you, this one doesn't work. The old one on that side didn't work. They did need some lubrication on the track, so once I can get this one rolled down a little bit, I can lubricate some more stuff. So let me go ahead, unbolt this, and then we'll go from there. There is one thing I did forget to mention. Right down here, I don't know if you could see it. Might be able to, but can you see something moving back? That's not going to focus. Oh, there you go. You got it. This needs to come out too. So this one rivet, at least on mine, and on that other door, it holds the bottom of the motor in. It's right about right here. So it's got a bracket that holds onto the bottom of the motor. The new ones don't have that, so it'll be fine. It's got 3 bolts holding it in. Shouldn't flex that much, I wouldn't think. All right, so here it is. The good old motor. Not too bad. She ain't looking pretty though, so there's that. She ain't looking too bad, but not as good as the new one. Now, the new one doesn't even have the place for the bracket, so the old one does, so it'll be fine. A lot of sews, you know, so, okay, so. But for these, the wiring has to wrap back around this one window rail there. Again, it should be perfectly fine without it. Gotta make sure that I get the bolts out of here. Keep them all in the same place. Right there, and this one, well, it jumps down there, and I can push it over into this side, and then I should be able to grab it out. Right in there. It's there. I know where it's at. But holding on to all of these. Let's go ahead and test these motors real quick. Alright, so we got ourselves a big old box of juice. Let me see if I can find my test leads real quick. And let me bring up this old motor. It's the old motor. Alright, we got some leads here that we can plug directly into the motor connector, and we'll just you know, give it a quick 1-2 tap, see if it's even working. This ain't getting nothing. This battery works, I promise you. We'll test it on the new one, but nothing at all. Okay, well, that kind of sucks. Let's test out the new one before we try putting it into something. Here's this. Let me grab the connector for it. It's right over here. We'll go with the red and blue one. Why? Because America, red, white, and blue, but we only got red and blue, so that'll be fine. Hook up these connectors. Again, this connector end will need some modifications, just like the other side did, but it'll be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and test this one. Oh yeah, that it torqued itself. It literally moved itself all by. Look at that. That's got all the torque we could need. Up, down. Let's go ahead and install it. Okay, so I got my switch all wired up using that diagram, and I got everything all plugged up like it should. So, and I did lubricate the tracks a little bit down in here, and this guy, and over in there. And now let's see moment of truth. Oh, there we go. Nice. And then on the other side, oh, it's already down. This switch doesn't work. If we come over here without hitting our head on the hatch and roll this one up, That one's nice and smooth. Oh man, every time. Alright, so we get that all the way up. Come over here, running back around the back of this thing again. And this side. So it'll roll it down, but the switch is broken, so I can't roll it up, unfortunately. Let me get this out of here because there's power running to those wires. I'm going to disconnect the battery one more time. But hey, I would say that was successful. A lot of little things I want to do to this thing. A lot of little things. Obviously, we want to get it painted again. Want to get the body work done on it. I need to redo back here. You guys can see I got a whole bunch of stuff back here. These are the side panels for the left and right side. I have the headliner, which needs to be replaced. That's not going to be cheap. I have the front headliner. That one needs to be replaced as well. I know that they sell like not is it ABS, or is it like a I think it's a plastic backed one with like a batting as well. But I need to get new headliners, need to rebuild those. I got my template, so that's awesome. We could reuse the fabric or the leather, if you want to call it that, but I don't know, we'll see. Need to get the door panels back on. There's a lot of little things that need to happen. I want, this is a want, to get a new radio for this thing, new speakers. There will be some modification that will need to be done, but the most important thing now is we have working windows, so we can drive around without, you know, having to just open these, and if we need to quick jump out, we can jump out through the windows if need be, but the doors work, so that's a plus. Thought I heard some deer back there. We got deer that walk through this property. But yes, nice cool breeze to end off this video. I enjoyed working on this. I hope this was a good video. If you guys did come to this channel from Auto Auction Rebuild channels, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming over and subscribing. I hope this was a good little intro video of, you know, the kind of stuff that I do, working on this big old piece of American history. Not many out there, but good old RamChargers. Gotta love them. Now it's time to work on the daily, but I'll save you guys that kind of work. It's not fun to look at. So, with all of that said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Another piece is done to the puzzle, and we're almost there. I think at some point we'll be able to drive this thing, go get it tagged officially, and then I would like to take it on a small road trip down to AAR HQ or Santa's Workshop. Either one of those, doesn't really matter, or if it'll even make it to either one of those. So that's the next goal after getting it roadworthy and tagged appropriately. But that'll happen in the future. Right here and now, it's the end of the video. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.